Good afternoon, my fellow subscribers here. How are you on this hot day on Thursday of June 26th? Just want to come and talk about this topic right here. I'm going to wait for more people to come into the chat. Well, in the meanwhile, while I am waiting, I'm just going to talk about some things that I was looking into. I'm still looking into the Carmelo and Austin Metcalf indictment. Okay, it's the indictment. That means that this will be going to trial on murder. I don't know what other people are sitting around talking about this case, but it is going to trial, and they're going to try to charge him with murder, first degree murder. And got to look at all the evidence. Nobody has seen that yet. So I haven't been talking too much on it because I haven't seen all the evidence that to prove that this was not murder, that it was self-defense. So they did charge him. They did arrest him. I'm sorry. You got to trust the process. They did arrest the young man when it took place, when he stabbed Austin and ran. And of course, he did say he didn't know if he murdered him or whatever. He said he was in self defense. So that's what all I know. Okay, I'm not gonna put no more to it. I know there's some people talking about it on their platform about the I mean, Carmelo Anthony and the Carmelo's um, situation, murder, the murder of Austin McClef. Okay, I'm learning just like everybody else is learning. I wasn't there, but going on some of the things that have been talked about as far as like every parent, everyone has a right to defend themselves in the court of law to prove their innocence. Now, I talked about it yesterday about the student that stabbed the young man, Jose Ramirez, that stabbed the other teen in the band from. That took place in 2022. There's another case I've been watching too about this preppy stabbing that happened in a prep school. And I don't know what happened to young people today. That's why I'm saying politics today, politics today, there should be some things restricted on adults. Law and order is so important. And that's why I wanted to talk about this topic right now with Jasmine Crockett is going to write, her mouth is going to write her a check she cannot cash. She keep running off with her mouth and she doesn't have any filter. She doesn't know how to set boundaries. Okay, she doesn't, being in politics and being in a place to be the voice for the voiceless. There is some things we do and do not say, especially when we trying to fight for what is right. And her behavior has been wrong on so many levels of the people that she's supposed to represent. This horrible that she attacked this woman on her legal status. As you can see, when I say model, Jasmine Crockett calls out Melania Trump for receiving elite, I guess, whatever. That's not your business, Jasmine. And besides that, that has nothing to do with the fact that, number one, this ain't really your fight. Okay? Because we are talking about illegal criminals coming across the American borders. Illegal criminals coming across the American borders. And it's just so much I can say here, and I don't want to say it because I know I can get down as ratchet as you can. But I'm going to make it clean due to the fact that I don't know who's listening and watching my video. But for you to go on an attack on Melania, because you want to prove to everybody that Trump is not on the right track with illegals, not legal immigrants or legal citizens of the citizens here. We're talking about people crossing the borders that are criminals. And not only just criminals, just people who crossing the borders, period, is illegal if they don't have the right to be here. You are so full of yourself, Jasmine Crockett, just full of yourself. You don't represent me because of the fact that we're melanated people. You don't represent the black community. You definitely don't represent the black woman in the black community. If anything, you are the problem of the black woman in the black community. You don't set an image that is in a good light for the black woman in the black community. You are very disrespectful. You rude. You loud. All the ghetto theatrics. You don't put us in a good light. You don't. Kamala, because I'm not going to say Joe Biden, because we didn't learn that Joe Biden had a cognitive dissonance and he had a salinity going on. Okay? He was dealing with salinity. He doesn't remember a lot of things, and he really didn't know much about what he was doing in his last days serving in office as the President of the United States of America. And whoever was in charge of giving you all orders was not looking out for your future of your position in Congress. They did not have you in the best of their interests. They set you up for failure because they left you with no guidelines, with no instructions. They just allowed you all to do what the F you want to do. And that's not good. Left you like spoiled, entitled brats. That's what the Democrats look like. Spoiled, entitled brats. They spared the rod and they fucked you up. And making you look so stupid and doing it just the way you want to do it. Of how you addressed your issues. Because in life, to order to live, we have to follow rules. We have to follow guidelines. And one thing You should know better. You should have sat your ass down, shut the freak up, and let somebody else do it and just get your check. That's it. Eat your bread in silence. Because you letting them put you in the front line in the hottest battle. That shows how much you know how to fight a battle. Just like David put Uriah in the front line of the hottest fucking battle to make sure he will not come back because David wanted to cover up his dirty scandal of sleeping with the man's wife. And the man was such a good servant under David. That's how the Democrat Party got you, Jasmine Crockett, all fucked up. Excuse my language, if you children out there listening. Excuse my language. Because David wanted to cover up his sins. He put a good servant like Uriah in a hot battle to die. And that seems like the same thing that you allowing whoever it is that put you in the front line with your ratchet ghetto mouth and your ratchet attitude in the front line so that they can fuck up your career and have you just get fucked up out there. Okay? Because you messing with somebody with much more higher power than you have to shut your fucking career down for good. You got to know when to say things and when not to say things. And when you do say it, how you supposed to address it. Let's listen to the video, y'all.
That he was actually going to escort people that are actually showing up to their meetings. Or we know that the Pope, yes, the Pope himself decided that the church may need to have people that are going to escort people as they're going into their meetings. Because the reality is that what they are claiming what they want to do versus what they're actually doing, the actions don't match up. And while we are supposed to be talking about visas, somehow we continue to cherry pick and talk about one criminal act and another criminal act. And it is so very interesting to me that, yes, we will say people are xenophobic, because when you start to decide that just because somebody came from another country, they are automatically some kind of criminal, that does sound kind of xenophobic to me, because you are using a paintbrush to paint an entire group of people where the vast majority of them are coming here because they are actually seeking a better life. But let me get to what this hearing is supposed to be about. The idea that Trump and my Republican
Okay, when you're looking to come into a place to seek a better life, right? You don't come here looking for welfare. You don't come in here illegally, sneaking through the borders, working with some kind of crime traffic. I mean, doing some kind of crime enterprise. That's not seeking a better life, Jasmine Crockett. See, some people sometimes got degrees and they so smart till they stupid. Sometimes their head is up high, so high till they stepping in shit. And that's exactly what this smarty pants Jasmine Crockett is doing to herself. She is, of course, if somebody's looking for a better opportunity, the way we go about getting a better opportunity, Jasmine Crockett, is we don't come through the borders illegally. That's not looking for a better opportunity. You come through the borders legally, being documented, being approved for your visa, being approved for your citizenship. That's how you come to America for a better opportunity. Just like when you leave one job and go to another job, you want to make sure that you make a exit interview and at least give a 2 weeks notice of you resigning from your job. So that will give your job a chance to make sure that they can get somebody trained and replaced for that position so things won't be so hard on them. That's what I'm saying. And then you want to move on and get a good reference from your last job. From your last job, somebody can give you a good reference. Coming for a better opportunity, Jasmine Crockett, is not moving across the borders illegally. Right there is a sign and a red flag that you are a criminal, that you hiding something, that you could not wait for the process to come through legally. So let's go on.
Leagues want to restore integrity and security in the visa process is actually a joke. Let me be clear, integrity is not snatching lawful visa holders off the streets and throwing them into unmarked vans. Integrity is not revoking visas based on social media posts that hurt somebody's little feelings because kids decide that they want to go after Trump or this administration. We have a thing called free speech in this country. And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas.
This is not free speech, Jasmine. This is being not intelligent. This is being ignorant. When you want to speak freely, you speak being truthful, being honest, and right with the law. You are out of line. You are out of line. And nothing you are saying lines up with making it sound with any sense. It doesn't make sense. It says you have to come through the borders legally, documented with visas. And even America has been graceful, been kind to even tell people to self deport themselves, and they will even help you with $1,000 to get you to where you need to go back to your country. They are willing to even help you do it the right to go back to your country and even try to come back with legal status. They have offered you that opportunity. Instead of for them having to come look for you and come to your job or find you out on the street or wherever they got to find you to send you back in a harsh and not so kind way, they offering you to leave kindly, quietly, and gently. And so many people took that offer. But those who didn't are the ones who are resisting arrest. Those are the ones who are here doing something they should not be doing. Those are the ones who are committing crimes and don't want no one to know what they're doing in their evil deeds. So Jasmine, what you saying to Congress and what's in the American constitutions and in our laws in America, you are protecting crime and you are going to be looked at as a criminal yourself for trying to cover up for the wicked. And now want to attack the president of the United States of America, his wife, and her status. She's legal. She's married to a president of the United States and she's been married to this man and they have a family together. She's legal. She went through the process already. And being that she is with the president of the United States, make her even more legal because they are checking her background to make sure she's not associated with anything as any kind of organization of crime families or whatever. All of that been checked out already, boo boo. So you fighting a war you really fucking can't win. No law abiding American citizen is going to agree with you. None. Whatever. Even the Democrat Party that's setting your ass up for the hottest battle.
Let me remind y'all that Melania, the first lady, a model, And when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB1 visa. And what that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded.
This is what happens to a woman who is so involved in just herself and set herself on such a high standard. You know, what did Kevin Samuel call these kind of women that put themselves on this high pedestal that they're going to end up in the end dying alone with a dog and dying alone or whatever, never going to get married, never going to have any kids, never going to have a husband because they got so much high standards. High value women or whatever they call them. They want high value men and everything else like that. These are the kind of women, they problematic to society alone. They're very problematic because they standards are so high. Like I said, they stepping in shit. This is what you call Jezebel. She wants power, control, and she don't care how she hurt other women. Okay, to get what she wants. Her, I don't know about AOC. She's not a part of this black community thing. She's Latino. Let her people worry about her. Let her people roast her. But I'm just saying, as of Jasmine Crockett, she don't got her head on too right. She ain't as bright as she sit down there and try to talk her hustle or talk her game. Why are you attacking Melania? She's a legal citizen because her husband's a legal citizen. And believe it or not, they made sure they did a background, whatever, check on her ass. She ain't committing no crime. She didn't come here through the borders, sneaking through the borders illegally, broke with no motherfucking money. Like some of them coming over here getting welfare, Medicaid, housing, even getting your job, American citizens' jobs, that as laborers, that jobs that can be offered to an American family to eat with a livable wage. So let's go on with the video, y'all.
A Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here. Nevertheless, what Republicans are doing with this reconciliation process, the travel bans and revoking visas, jeopardizes our
Milani speaks about, I think she speaks quite a few other different languages. And just because she don't get out here and act ratchet and hood rat and ghetto, is overstep her boundaries with her husband and let him be the president of the United States and she stand by his side being a wife, doesn't make her not a woman that doesn't come with any credentials or education. She's not just sitting around just looking pretty and laying on her damn back. That's not happening. First of all, she raised her own damn child. All right? And sat down as a mother and schooled her own son in school, took him to school every day, made sure that he was being educated well. That's a job, boo boo. That's a job. And she made sure that she did everything for their little boy until now he's a bigger boy and everything. I'm sure she looked out for his future, did things with her son, and she cooked her own meals for her own family and the whole fucking nine. Because she ain't just let everybody come fucking cook for her damn family. And only God knows what they could be putting in the food. Because of, that's her culture. And she was raised with some type of, she's a model, she has a career. So what the fuck is Jasmine talking about? This ain't Hillary Clinton. She's doing exactly what a wife's supposed to do for her husband. And she don't put her family business all in the front of the media. See, women like Jasmine, they hate women like that. Virtuous women. They hate virtuous women. Let's go on.
National security. It threatens our communities, our higher education, and our economy. Visas like the largely vetted J visas for higher education and M visas for trade training attract the next innovators, medical providers, researchers, and educators that we need to build on American success. I'm not gonna mess up your name, so I'm not doing that. But I'm with you, okay? In your experience, do individuals on J or M visas typically improve or impair our economy?
They generally improve the economy, and I can give a brief example. My wife is a very successful woman. She makes a ton of money, which I'm grateful for. And the reason why we're able to do that while having 3 children is because of the au pair visa, somebody who is here on a J. Who is here and able to supply this for us. But I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement. So I think she deserves credit for that. Nobody up here could have done it.
You sure right. I couldn't do it. But anyway, in fact, J visa holders contribute $43.8 billion to the U.S. economy and support more than 300,000 jobs. And make no mistake, immigrants improve the health of U.S. citizens too, despite the fact we already have a doctor shortage. Trump's reckless travel ban and visa overhaul are exacerbating this crisis by.
You don't think Americans can produce and make the best doctors right here in the United States of America? That we don't really need to go across seas and sneak immigrants into our country so we can have good doctors and good. I don't get it, Jasmine. What you saying doesn't make sense. America could get the best doctors right here in the United States of America. We can produce that right here in the United States of America. We don't need illegal immigrants to come here to be the best doctors for the not to take care of the medical needs of Americans. Right here, we can produce that the greatest. We can produce good doctors right here, good dentists right here, good ophthalmologists or whatever you want to call it for eyes and everything else right here, neurologists right here. Everything can be produced right here in the United States of America. If people want to become a doctor, lawyer, whatever they want to become, our children, we can make that happen right here in the United States of America.
Comparing hundreds of hospitals with foreign trained doctors set to do their residencies here in the United States, meaning fewer people will get the help they need and more people will die. Now, let me remind you that Republicans are trying to gut Medicaid. Roughly 4.5 million people receive caregiver services through Medicaid.
She don't get it. The poor in the United States of America, you will have what you always. That's anywhere. That's anywhere in the United States of America. And being that we do have the poor here in the United States of America, there is a way to fix the health care, better health care programs for American citizens, where it should be health care across the board. That instead of getting it for free, you can work within the program. Some companies don't want to offer medical, Medicaid, eye doctors, good doctors, which they can get health care for their employees, even if they work in McDonald's. No matter where they work, they can buy into one health care program where the government will pay into it for your employees as well. So it's not like they're going to just not get health care or Medicaid or whatever they might need, that they don't have to be totally out of work and get it for free, that they can actually get it by working. You work for it. Even if you take a job just working in McDonald's, they will cover your healthcare expenses, because I don't believe no company should be hiring employees without giving them any kind of health care. I don't believe in that. So let's go on.
Medicaid, and most of these folks are in red states. And wouldn't you know that in 2023, Kaiser Family Foundation estimated that almost 30% of long-term care.
I believe every job, whether you working in McDonald's, whether you working as a cashier in some type of grocery store or supermarket, wherever you might work as a person in the United States of America, I believe that people should get health care, some kind of incentives, some kind of benefits. They should also be able to get 401k. They should also get some time off of vacation time. That's what I believe. And I believe that is a plan that the Republicans believe in as well. People sitting home doing nothing and getting freebies all the time is not going to help our government. It doesn't help our economy. We should got to bring down the unemployed. Only reason you should be unemployed, but for whatever reason it is because you can't go out to work because you have a health condition or you have some type of medical condition that you are unable to work. Some kind of disability. Some type of disability that will eliminate you from working or will cause problems for you to work or for some help, dialysis and all of that stuff, having to go see your sometimes it's hard to go and get your dialysis done and all that other stuff when you're working. So that right there can cause problems for you to work. But people that are healthy and strong and young, they need to be working. Everybody should be able to pull their own weight. Nobody should be offered no freebies. It doesn't help your self-esteem. It doesn't make you want to do better. It doesn't help people to want to go to the excel better in life. What would life be like if you don't work? Even in the Bible it says a man don't work, don't eat. You should be able to be in control of your life and where you want to go as far as grow in life. How you want to reach for greater. Oh my God, this woman is crazy.
Providers or home caretakers were immigrants. It's like
Not
Republicans
everybody got
want
an
Americans to
education and
suffer. Now,
smart.
Republicans say visas make us less secure, but let's talk about how visas given to victims of crimes like rape, murder, human trafficking, torture, abduction.
Poverty is what causes people to commit crimes. But when you work for something and you work hard for something, you don't have to commit crimes. You always got room to try to do more to get more. With that being said, Jasmine Crockett, she gonna write a check. Like I said, her mouth can't cash. She gonna talk herself into some crazy place in her life. She's first of all, she's attacking this woman. This woman done nothing to her, nothing whatsoever. And Donald Trump, you don't like Donald Trump because he comes with some restrictions. And he ain't gonna let y'all just have y'all way like whoever was in control before allowed y'all to do that. Allow y'all to just say anything y'all want to say with no filter. Do what the heck y'all want to do without no accountability. Donald Trump say things and believe me, he's being checked. Okay? He may not be in getting checked in front of the American people, but he's getting checked by somebody behind the scene that's putting him in his place. Like, this is what we can't tolerate from you for the people. He's getting checked. And there's a way we do things, and then there's a way we don't do things. Anybody that's going to do it openly in front of the public and everything else like that is not good. Okay? So everybody got to take some accountability because believe it or not, Donald Trump probably already wanted to blast off on something because his outburst on that day, which was Monday, I think it was, when Donald Trump said they don't know what that so and so they doing, that he was fed up. Because to be honest with you, he probably didn't even want to go along with it in the first place. But the pressure was on him as the president of the United States of America. He had to make that move to do what he had to do. Because I remember, if you've been following him from the time he's been running for election for presidency, he didn't want any wars. And he said that. I don't want to see no more people dying. When Joe Biden could not stand in that spot to do it while Kamala was out there at her sorority party, when Kamala was having a party with her sorority and Joe Biden was MIA, who had to stand in the gap for that? Donald Trump. When that stuff was going on in front of the Capitol, them people burning the flag, graffiti all over the walls and everything at the Capitol, Donald Trump had to come and put that flag back up, and Donald Trump he had to be standing in the position as if he was the president. No Kamala. While people were just tearing America up and the borders were open, it was Donald Trump that was trying to make sure save America. While all this foolishness was going on. See, they don't remember. People got selective amnesia. They could only remember when they see him do something that might not look so good. They want to put him on blast. But what about all the other good things he's done? And I remember I was like, who's going to take care of this? While these people in America was terrified. We had terrorists running in over our borders and everything, tearing up our capital, doing all this crazy stuff. When BB Ben Netanyahu, I can't even pronounce that man, BB from Israel was here over at the Capitol and everything else like that. And them people were talking about Hamas is coming, all these crazy terrorist groups and everything was out there burning the American flag and putting graffiti all over the American federal buildings and on our Capitol. People forget. I didn't forget that. And Donald Trump had to step in right then and there. And he wasn't even the president then. He was still running for the election. Well, anyway, y'all, I just wanted to come and share this with y'all. So you all be good.